Well, it's still getting messier and messier in the It Ends With Us feud between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint.
Blake Lively's world is unraveling rapidly, with her legal battle against Justin Baldoni escalating into a full-blown Hollywood scandal. What began as a
Friedman may even be violating the New York rules of professional conduct for lawyers by doing all this. Quote, his conduct threatens to and will materially prejudice both the Lively case and the Wayfair case by tainting the jury pool because his statements are deliberately aimed at undermining the character, credibility, and reputation of numerous relevant parties.
The drama began when Blake Lively, who starred alongside Justin Baldoni in It Ends With Us, filed a shocking lawsuit accusing him of inappropriate on-set behavior. However, Baldoni quickly fired back with a massive defamation countersuit worth hundreds of millions. Now, the situation has taken an even darker turn as more people come forward.
You're not kidding when you say this is getting messier. The author of that book deleting her Instagram account, another who plays Baldoni's sister in the film being harassed online.
One of the most shocking twists came when crisis peer specialist Jed Wallace entered the legal battlefield, suing Blake Lively for defamation. Wallace claims Lively falsely accused him of orchestrating an online smear campaign against her, leading to devastating financial and reputational damage. He is now demanding millions in compensation. But things get even messier. Wallace insists he has never met or spoken to Lively, raising the question, why is she dragging his name into this chaos? Lively's legal team has dismissed the lawsuit as yet another attempt to silence her.
I believe that it's a continuation of the smear campaign that Blake initially claims happened while they were promoting the film.
Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has been relentless in his legal counterattack. His team recently released unedited footage from It Ends With Us, claiming it completely debunks Lively's accusations. The video shows the two actors filming a slow dance scene, engaging in what appears to be normal on-set interactions. Lively's lawsuit had framed this moment as an instance of inappropriate behavior, but Baldoni's lawyers argue the footage tells a different story. Rather than appearing distressed or uncomfortable, Lively is seen laughing, chatting, and even making suggestions about the scene. Baldoni's team insists this directly contradicts her claims and exposes her lawsuit as a calculated attack.
Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived a because that's what it sounded like to the public.
Lively's lawyers are refusing to back down. In response to the video's release, they slammed Baldoni's team for what they called a misleading media stunt, arguing that the footage actually supports Lively's claims by capturing her discomfort in real time. According to them, the fact that Baldoni's team chose to release the footage publicly rather than presenting it in court proves this is nothing more than an intimidation tactic. And if that wasn't enough, Lively is now demanding a gag order to prevent Baldoni's lawyers from making further public statements about the case. This move has only fueled more controversy, with critics accusing her of trying to silence the truth. After all, wasn't she the one who first took this battle to the press? Baldoni's team has been quick to point out the hypocrisy, arguing that Lively had no problem using the media to push her allegations. So why is she suddenly demanding secrecy now that the evidence isn't in her favor? It's a question that has many questioning her motives.
He also provided a cease and desist letter, asking them to cease, quote, all unlawful conduct, namely what they alleged is the, quote, harassing and retaliatory media and online campaign against Miss Lively.
Speaking of media narratives, bombshell revelations about Blake Lively's alleged behind-the-scenes behavior have emerged. In recent weeks, numerous reports have surfaced, painting a starkly different picture of the actress than the one she has carefully curated over the years. One particularly damning claim comes from former Gossip Girl actress and current TV host Rosella Rego, who recently shared her experience working with Lively. According to Rego, Lively was a nightmare on set, acting entitled, looking down on others, and even displaying bizarre and unprofessional behavior between takes. These revelations are further complicating Lively's already spiraling legal battle. Rego didn't hold back, alleging that Lively openly belittled people on set and treated those around her as if they were beneath her. She went so far as to describe Lively's behavior as outright disgusting, claiming the actress would burp and pass gas on set without a care in the world. But that's not all. Rego also suggested that Lively's real issue.
One of the most significant allegations in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Lively sought to gain control over the editing process of the film. This is important.
These allegations are incredibly damaging, especially on top of Lively's ongoing legal troubles. Hollywood may be a place of second chances, but when multiple people come forward with stories like this, redemption becomes much harder. Lively has spent years cultivating an image as one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses, but if these claims continue to gain traction, that image could crumble beyond repair. And then there's Taylor Swift. One of Lively's closest friends, Swift has reportedly begun distancing herself from the actress. According to insiders, Swift was dragged into the legal feud when Baldoni alleged that Lively used her as an intimidation tactic during a private meeting. Allegedly, Lively invited Swift.
You have two sides here, right? So Baldoni says this was all an effort to hijack the film to get her way. Lively claims she was the victim of harassment in a hostile work environment.
This revelation has reportedly left Taylor Swift feeling extremely uncomfortable, with sources claiming she never intended to be involved in the controversy. As the situation spirals further, it appears Swift is distancing herself from Lively entirely. If true, this is a devastating blow. Lively and Swift's friendship has been one of Hollywood's most publicized, and losing that kind of high-profile support could be catastrophic for Lively's already crumbling reputation. With mounting legal troubles, this fallout only adds to her growing crisis.
We just broke a shocking story. There is a rift, and I think that is an understatement of a word, a rift.
And here's where things take an even darker turn. Rumors are swirling that Taylor Swift could be called to testify against Lively in court. While nothing has been confirmed, the possibility of Swift taking the stand to clarify her involvement in this fiasco could change everything.
This is a big mess for everyone involved. The legal drama playing out in multiple courts now, literally from coast to coast, and all kinds of people close to these stars, from personal trainers to friends like Taylor Swift, finding their names mentioned as part of this ongoing fight.
At this point, the evidence is stacking up against Blake Lively faster than she can fight back. Between the mounting lawsuits, public backlash, and the potential loss of key industry allies, things are looking increasingly dire. And the worst part, this may only be the beginning. With a trial date set for 2026, this legal war isn't going away anytime soon. Lively may have thought she could control the narrative by taking the fight public, but that decision appears to have backfired spectacularly. Now, she's on the defensive, desperately trying to regain control of a situation that is slipping further from her grasp. As the case moves forward, one question looms large. Can Lively survive this scandal? Or is this the beginning of the end for her Hollywood career? One thing is certain, this is far from over. If the past few weeks are any indication, the worst may be yet to come. Lively's world is
So remember that what Taylor had told Justin was that Blake herself, she said, was Khaleesi, who was the queen in Game of Thrones, and Ryan, her husband, and Taylor were her dragons, her best friend. Although I think best friend is now past tense.
As if the legal firestorm weren't enough, Blake Lively's personal and professional relationships are also taking a major hit. One of the biggest shocks came with rumors that Taylor Swift, the very person who once seemed like her most loyal supporter, was quietly distancing herself. For years, Blake and Taylor's friendship was one of Hollywood's most publicized. They vacationed together, celebrated birthdays, and even featured each other's families in their work. But now, that bond may be unraveling, and the timing couldn't be worse for Blake. According to insiders, Taylor was blindsided when her name was unexpectedly dropped.
Yeah, it's just getting super nasty, and it seems like he's not cowering to this attempted gag order.
Yeah, I don't really understand Blake Lively's point here.
This revelation reportedly left Taylor Swift feeling used. And if there's one thing she doesn't tolerate, it's being manipulated for someone else's agenda. Sources say she was furious upon realizing that her mere presence had been weaponized in a legal battle she wanted no part of. While Taylor hasn't made any public statements, the signs are hard to ignore. The most telling clue: she has stopped publicly supporting Blake. Once quick to show up for her friend, whether by attending events or promoting her projects, Taylor has now gone completely silent. No Instagram shoutouts, no public outings, nothing. And in Taylor's world, silence often speaks louder than words.
We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
But that's not even the worst part. There are now whispers that Taylor Swift might be called to testify in court. While nothing has been confirmed, the possibility of her taking the stand to clarify her involvement is a nightmare scenario for Blake Lively.
New video released by lawyers for actor Justin Baldoni shows unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us.
If Taylor confirms Baldoni's claims, it would deal a massive blow to Blake's credibility. And even if she doesn't, the fact that she's being dragged into this legal mess at all is disastrous in itself. So, what do you think? Is there any way for Blake to recover from this? Or has she completely destroyed her own career? And do you believe Taylor Swift will actually testify if it comes down to it? Let us know your thoughts and stay tuned for the latest updates on this unfolding Hollywood drama.